Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome. Today is Tuesday, June 13th, 2023. My name is Jeremy, and this is my first cup. So how are you? How was your Monday? How did the week start off? I want to know. So I want you to put it in the chat. I want you to let me know you're here so I can say hello to you and we can talk about what's going on. Good morning to Brian and Jenny and Gad and Stacy and the rest of you out there. Whether you're watching, you know what I say here, live later or listening. Hey, the crawl isn't up there. There it goes. Stacy says, how nice to wake up to the sound of rain. Yeah, it is raining. It was warm enough last night. I left all the windows open except those in the bedroom because the rain is enough to keep me up. And woke up and the birds were loving it. I mean, they are loud this morning, and I see rain and it's pouring and the garden's going to be happy and the grass is going to be happy. And we've just got so much rain in the forecast, and selfishly, I'd rather it not be there, but for the sake of, I don't know, everything else, I'm glad it is. Yesterday was a challenging day for me. Had some things pop up that I wasn't thrilled about. It was a typical Monday for me. I had a difficult time with my transitions into work. I did get some good work done. There is tons of work to do. Looking at my calendar for the week, I should be able to catch up. I'm going to have to do a bunch of work on Friday, which I don't love, but it's got to get done. There's work to do. I've got to do it. Make hay while the sun shines, as they say. And then there was some personal stuff. Heard from, you ever had this happen? Somebody that you haven't heard from in a very long time. Somebody where things ended in a less than ideal way. This is one of my former best friends. Text me asking for business advice out of the blue. And I'll spare you what happened beyond that with it. But it really threw me for a loop and it was upsetting. So we dealt with that. And then I had a couple drinks and watched Deadpool 2 and called it a night because I just needed to not think about anything. And it was great. Good morning, Dennis. Good morning, Kelly. Kelly says, happy rainy Tuesday. Yeah. I don't know if you guys can hear the rain coming through on the camera, but it's from both sides there. The birds aren't quite as loud as when I got up. They were loud. They were loud. Got up at 5. Realized did not want to be up at 5. Went to bed. Went back to bed. Oh, I think I'm caught up on sleep now. We will see. I could have slept longer. Who knows? Kelly says, won't need to water the flowers for a while. Come on, I pressed button. There we go. Jenny says, we had that rain last night. It was wonderful. The ground here was so dry, though, that the rain likely was not absorbed as well as needed, but it's better than no rain. Yes. Well, if you have the forecast that we have, you will get plenty more. Though I'm excited. Excited is the wrong word. I'm happy. It looks like that we have a break on Thursday because there is more lawn work that will need to be done. More trim. I did not get out there with the weed whacker. I was going to do that yesterday. And just the way the day fell, I would have needed to come home and do that and then go out to see friends. I made some plans, and I ended up just not doing any of it because I just couldn't wrap my head around it. It was not the simplest day. Thank you, Kelly. I appreciate that. So how about you? How was your Monday? Did you check out that episode of Martial Arts Radio? Damon Stith? Historical African martial arts. I'm intrigued. I want to learn. I want to go somewhere where he's teaching and check out what he does because it just sounds cool. It sounds different. And I love different martial arts. Oh, and you know what else happened yesterday? I found that my whistle kick email was not giving me everything. And so I had to go through literally 1,000 emails and find the ones that had not come through and deal with those. It was about a month of email. So, but at least I found a solution. There are a couple of bits of cleanup I need to do with that because I had to change some passwords on things to make that happen. Good morning. If Sylvie is here, I do not see Sylvie. Kelly says, did they go to your spam? No, they just simply were not delivered. There's a technical problem that I was arguing with the web host about, and they were unhelpful. So I said, fine, I will do this myself. I will figure out a way to do it myself, and came up with another way of handling email. And it solves the problem, it seems. We will see if that is true. So. But today is another day. Today's a different day, a better day. It's already a better day. I can already tell. So what's going on today? Andrew and I have a call about a variety of things. This morning, I've got one client call that I had to move to today. And then a couple other things. There's some planning. I had a coaching call last night, which was probably the highlight of my day. And some things that we talked about led to some homework. So I'm going to work on that this afternoon. And then we'll be in Burlington watching a friend at an open mic night. That's it. That'll be the day. With, of course, 10 bajillion emails in between. Somebody ordered some of the new whistle kick pants. Yesterday, I realized I, as typically do, forgot to set that item to free shipping, refunded the shipping, and fixed it so it won't happen again. Just a reminder, if you order something and it charges you shipping, you have two choices. You can either wait, you can email me, message me and say, hey, Jeremy, you forgot to do this. And I go, oh, shoot, you're right. Or order it knowing with full confidence I will refund 100% of that shipping because I do it every time. Coffee. What else do I want to say? You know, it's funny. I posted on Facebook kind of an extension of what we've been talking about here on First Cup about comfort. And the words just kind of came together. I wrote, constant comfort is akin to dying. And it was interesting to see people rejecting that idea. For some of them, they don't see the comfort in their lives. A couple of people responded about being in chronic pain, and sure. But I hold to the words. If we look at the way most people spend their time, they've been conditioned into comfort. You do as little as possible at work. You come home, you comfort yourself with food or other substances, and you sit on a comfy couch and you watch big screen TV shows that make you happy. And then you go to your comfy bed and you sleep as much as you want to or can, and you get up and do it all over again. And then on the weekends, you do something else comfortable, and you watch what happens over time as those people do that. They lose their edge. What happens when an animal loses its edge? It's eaten. It dies. It's pushed out of the pack. I reject comfort long term. Look, I mean, I've got a comfy blanket on my lap. I'm not saying that being comfortable is terrible. See, because people like to read their own situation into things, and they like to get upset. So I think plenty of people read what I wrote as comfort is akin to dying. I didn't say that. I said constant comfort. There's a difference. If you see someone wearing the most comfortable clothes 100% of the time, you know that they are probably not, that's a stupid analogy. I'm not going to do that one. We've talked about this enough. I don't need to give you more. So what about you? How was your Monday? Nobody's really telling me much about their Monday. Good morning, Andy. What are you doing today? How's your Tuesday going to be? I would love to know. I like hearing what's going on with you all. I do have something from Frank. We'll dig into that in a minute. I'll tell you. Summer rain. The ability to hear the rain with the windows open brings me back to being a kid and being either at summer camp, because there was a local summer camp I went to, not for the whole summer, just I think it was a week. Did that, I think, 2 or 3 years. Or being at friends' camps on the lake. There's just something about summer rain that makes me think about camp. And where this house is, it's deep enough into the woods that it gives me a similar feel. And on days like this, where it's warm enough to have the windows open and there's still plenty of rain, I just want to hang out. I have a hard time motivating on days like this. I just want to sit and listen to the rain, take a nap. How about you? Do you like the rain? Jenny says she's training today, maybe some free training day, mid-Atlantic prep work and book work if time allows. Kelly sums this up here well. There's no growth without getting out of your comfort zone. And this is what I'm talking about. I know you all get this. We've talked about this. Andy's busy setting up for graduation and mowing the lawn in the courtyard today. Stacy used her water tower for the first time in almost 9 months, only made it 5 minutes, but it's something. I don't know what a water tower is in this context, but congratulations. Kelly says that she's officially finished all school year programs as of yesterday. No daytime classes until after July 4th. A little needed break. Congratulations. That is awesome. So the reason I found out that my email was doing screwy things is I wrote to the place that I'm going to have martial arts classes, because it's been a week and I hadn't heard back. And I said, just want to check in. They said, we wrote you back right away. And we even are forwarding you the emails we sent. I went, oh, there was a second person yesterday saying, I emailed you and you have not emailed me back. Well, I found plenty of others. So I had dealt with that. So we're moving along here. So that's good. We'll get there. Oh, water rower. Got it, Stacey. That makes more sense. There's always more to do. Always more to do. coffee. Well, you can keep dropping stuff in the chat. What are you doing today? What did you do yesterday? What are you looking forward to? Did you have a challenging day? Did you have a great day? I want to hear about it. And I'm going to move on here to the stuff Frank sent over. Thank you, as always, Frank, for your support and work on this show. Thank you to Josh for our theme song and to Denise for the audio. What do we got here? We change the view, go to this view. This is the better view. You cannot escape the responsibility of tomorrow by evading it today. Abraham Lincoln. There's another quote from somebody that I follow that I like a little bit better. And I should say I've heard him say it. He attributes it to someone else. I'm trying to remember who he says it. It might be a Jim Rohn thing. You can ignore, you can ignore reality, but you can't ignore the consequences of ignoring reality. I can not pay that bill. I can pretend I don't have to pay that bill, but I'm going to, have to deal with not having internet or not having lights or whatever that bill was, right? You cannot escape the responsibility of tomorrow by evading it today. Abraham Lincoln was a sharp guy. I think I would have liked him. I've read that he was not a kind man, but that's okay. He did seem like a wise man. I wonder if we get the sharpening of the axe quote deeper in this. There are a few that I know from him. There's another one about a policy. I don't want to say what these are in case Frank has them down here. What's the next one? Let's see. If you look at what you have in life, you'll always have more. If you look at what you don't have in life, you'll never have enough. Oh, this is Oprah Winfrey. More focus on gratitude. Now, it's probably no secret that Oprah is saying this because who did Oprah learn a lot of her stuff from? Tony Robbins. If I am correct, they are good friends. If I am remembering this correctly, they are good friends. Which adds up. Right, that lines up pretty well. I try to be appreciative. It's not always easy, is it? On a day like yesterday, where I felt like I didn't have enough time, where I felt like I was letting people down, I was letting myself down, I was letting clients down, I was letting friends down. There just wasn't enough time in the day to do everything and make everybody happy. So I chose to make myself happy and not do everything else. That's what happened. I like this idea. Kelly says we need a musical on Abe like Hamilton. I don't know if there's as much drama in his life. And obviously the end. But I think that's part of what made Hamilton great was the fact that nobody knew anything about Alexander Hamilton and that there was so much going on there. So much drama. Made for a great story. I was having a conversation with someone not too long ago about musicals and the fact that I find most of them to be a little bit too long and most of the music to be kind of, it doesn't advance the story. It just kind of breaks the monotony of the acting. But Hamilton was great. It moved, the music moved the story forward. It was well done. And if you are like myself, and like I assume the only other person who watches this show Wow, terrible sentence, Jeremy. I know Gad, as well as I, are big fans of 90s hip hop music. And there are little subtleties that are worked into those songs that if you are not a big fan of 90s hip hop, you will not get. But there are these tiny little references that just made my day. It's like, oh, that line, that word, that reference, that cadence, really neat stuff. Yeah, this is exactly what Stacy says. And it had so many tips of the musical genre to other artists. He says, oh, I'm sure there are skeletons in his closet, Abe Lincoln's closet too. Probably. I bet there are. I'd watch it. It'd be fun. All right, what's your next one? Spare yourself from seeking love, approval, or appreciation from anyone and watch what happens in reality just for fun. Byron Katie. I do not. I've never heard Byron Katie. First off, Katie is an odd last name. Byron Katie. Byron's an odd first name. This is a strange person's name. Spare yourself from seeking love, approval, or appreciation from anyone. I think the key word in there is seeking. Doesn't mean you don't welcome it. Doesn't mean you don't want it. Doesn't mean it is not valuable. But seeking approval. That doesn't always go well. There's a really interesting, I'll share with you a couple Abe Lincoln quotes in a minute. There's a really interesting element in interpersonal dynamics, and where when someone, the harder someone chases you for your approval or your affection, or they want to sell you something or whatever, the less we want to give it. The harder someone works, the more we seem to think that what they have to offer in exchange is less valuable. If someone beats down your door trying to sell you a widget, you assume that the only way they're going to sell that widget is with a lot of work. But if someone is indifferent, if you do not want to buy, you assume it is of value. Think about buying a car. If you go to a Ferrari dealership, not a thing I've ever done, but let's imagine, they probably don't work that hard to sell you. In fact, they're probably rude and indifferent, because most of the time people probably come in to kick tires and pretend they can buy a Ferrari when they really can't. The Ferrari sells itself. But if you know just as well as I do, if you go to a typical car dealership, if you go to buy a Toyota, they're going to work a lot harder. They're going to want your phone number. They're going to call you. They're going to email you. They're going to follow up a whole lot because they need to. Kelly says, seeking seems like you are trying too hard and they don't accept you for who you are. It sounds like trying to change who you are for someone else. Could be. Apparently, Byron Katie is woman self-inquiry author. Interesting. I used to be someone like this. I used to seek out everyone's approval. I wanted I wanted to know that I was valued by people. I chased. My 20s are a long string of very disastrous, very sad romantic events. But I got better. And I don't chase now. I don't chase in any way. I definitely, the best example of it is the way I handle my business, the way I handle consulting. There's somebody right now who was interested, someone I know I could help, someone that knows me, someone that's been on the show. I'm not chasing them. The ball is in their court. Hey, when you're ready, book a call. Here's the link. Because here's what I've learned, and I think this is the most important thing. This is what gave me the confidence to not chase people professionally or personally. If you have to chase, if you have to put in that effort all the time, it's unsustainable. And the quality of the result is poor. The clients I have now, I don't have to chase. They show up to the calls. They do the work. They see the progress. But before I was well established with this work, when I was selling people, I had to remind them. I had to chase them. They didn't do the work and they didn't see the results, and it didn't look good for me. Whoever you are, be that. Be that unapologetically. Doesn't mean that you don't work on yourself. Doesn't mean you don't become a better version. It doesn't mean that you hide behind eccentricities like being very rude. Be who you are. And if you do that consistently and openly, the people that you should be around will end up finding you. You will find them. But the biggest thing I've learned is that if you are not authentic to who you are, you will never find those people. Because the people that respond to who you are pretending to be are not your people. The people who are your people cannot see through whatever mask you're putting on. There you are. Kelly says, I don't chase after prospective students anymore. If they set up a free class and don't show, I reach out only once. If they come and don't sign up, I let them go. Yeah. There's a fine line there, right? So, a couple Abe Lincoln quotes that I like. And I might not get them exactly right, but they'll be close. First one is, I never had a policy. I simply did what I thought was right at the time. And the other one is, if I had 8 hours to chop down a tree, I'd spend the first, I think he says 6 to sharpen the axe. I want more coffee. Be whoever you are unapologetically. There have been various points in my life where I've found the courage to take ownership of who I was in varying degrees, because that is not a all or nothing. And the first time was my senior year in college. I realized I had really no friends, no social life, no nothing. And I was trying to be somebody that I thought others would like more. So I stopped doing that. And by the end of the year, I had some friends and some social life. And by the end of my freshman year of college, I was one of the best known people on campus. I had plenty of friends. I had more social invites than I could handle. I didn't know what to do with that. It was very strange. Actually, it was by the end of first semester. I hit the ground running. And there have been other instances where I've done this more and more. This show, Whistlekick, etc., are big factors in that. Who you get here is who I am. I'm a philosophical, thoughtful, kind, direct, passionate person who loves martial arts, who loves helping people, who enjoys coffee in the rain. There's no act here. Thanks for coming by. I appreciate you all. If you want to support the work that we do at Whistlekick to connect, educate, and entertain, you know what to do. And I'll ask all of you, if you haven't done something in that way to help Whistlekick in the mission that I'm assuming resonates for all of you, please consider doing something today. What would happen if everybody that valued what we do spent 60 seconds a day? We probably would have already achieved our mission. It really is that powerful when you take a small action consistently and everyone else does too. Model the behavior you want to see in the world. And if what you want to see is more Whistlekick, then please help us out in some way. Some great conversation in the chat that I'm going to leave be. This is my favorite thing about First Cup, the chat that happens. If you want to be part of the chat, most of it happens on Facebook. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for being here. And I hope to see you tomorrow. If it's a rainy day, enjoy it. If it's a sunny day, enjoy it. Whatever you have today, enjoy. Take care, everybody.